Hello everybody, I hope you're all doing well. I'm Mr. Twister WX, and in tonight's forecast we have a lot to talk about. I want to start off taking a look at our current alerts map. The time is 10:07 p.m. Central Daylight Time. It is Monday, March 31st. So currently we have some flood watches for portions of northern Dixie Valley, the Ohio Valley, and much of the eastern Midwest, in western Texas, and much of New Mexico, along with portions of Arizona, California, and Nevada. We have fire weather alerts, red flag warnings, fire weather watches, fire weather warnings. In the Rocky Mountains, we have some winter weather alerts, looks like some winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings in portions of Colorado, Utah, Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, and California, along with a winter storm watch for portions of North and South Dakota, along with Minnesota. Next, taking a look at our convective outlooks. Today and tonight, we have a slight risk of severe weather for portions of Virginia and Pennsylvania, which comes with a very small 2% tornado threat for portions of New Jersey, a 15% wind risk for this area in Virginia, New Jersey, and eastern Pennsylvania, along with no hail risk currently. Moving on to tomorrow, we have an enhanced level 3 out of 5 risk of severe weather for portions of eastern and southeast Kansas, along with a slight risk stretching into portions of Illinois, Missouri, Iowa, Nebraska, Oklahoma, and Texas. This comes with a rather small 10% hatch tornado risk, which includes some areas like Wichita, Kansas, Hutchinson, Kansas, Emporia, Kansas, Derby, Kansas, and Newton, Kansas. That 5% tornado risk includes Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Kansas City, Missouri, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Overland Park, Kansas, Kansas City, Kansas, and then that 2% goes out for areas such as the Omaha Metro, the Dallas Metro. So moving on to day 3, Wednesday, we have a very large enhanced risk of severe weather, which I would not be surprised to see get upgraded to a day 1 moderate risk, probably somewhere in this general area in the mid-Mississippi Valley. So this will be all hazards possible. We will see some strong tornadoes. So on the summary, we can see an outbreak of severe storms is possible Wednesday and Wednesday night across the lower Great Lakes, mid-Mississippi Valley, which is likely where we would see that moderate risk if it were put in place, and the Arklatex region. Severe wind gusts, very large hail, and significant tornadoes are expected. So we are expecting to see some very strong tornadoes. So we likely could see a 15% hatch tornado risk. And then we have a day 4 slight risk stretching from portions of eastern Texas and Oklahoma all the way to portions of Ohio, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia. Before we go over our severe weather setup for tomorrow and Wednesday and take a look at some models, I want to take a look at our fire weather outlooks. Today we had an elevated risk for portions of extreme West Texas, southern Colorado, and much of New Mexico. Tomorrow there is a critical risk for portions of southeastern Colorado, southwest Kansas, West Texas, southeast Arizona, and central New Mexico. So be sure to avoid anything that could cause a spark because fires will rapidly spread. Moving on to day 3, Wednesday, there is a pretty much a high risk for portions of West Texas and southern New Mexico. So be sure you are not burning anything and avoiding all fire if possible. Taking a look at surface-based CAPE for tomorrow's event, we can see in eastern Kansas and western Missouri, we see CAPE values reaching from around 1,000 to 2,000. In northeastern Oklahoma, that can reach up to about 2,100. For portions of central Texas, these values get upwards of 2,300. So we also will have the potential for some severe weather there, but our main target will be this general area. If we move this a bit forward, you can see we don't have as much CAPE, but as the storms move east, still around 1,000 lingering in central Missouri, and a little pocket around 997 in northern Missouri. Now if we take a look at the surface-based CAPE for Wednesday, we can see in parts of our enhanced risk of severe weather, the further south you get, you can see CAPE values approaching 3,500 joules per kilogram. So that is pretty high, and that would make these storms, that would be a very potent factor for these storms to produce tornadoes. Looking in central Illinois, reaching about 1,000, along with southern Illinois getting up to about 2,000. So the most cape we will see is across Louisiana and portions of Mississippi. If we take a look at our SRH, or storm relative helicity, with helps with storms rotation tomorrow, you can see values getting up into the couple hundreds, 300, 400 in portions of central Kansas. If we look before the event, you can see in western Kansas, as these storms move eastward, before they enter our main risk area, those values are a lot higher. So those will continue to lower as they move east. So that could be a potential fail mode for tomorrow. If we take a look for Wednesday, you can see that we have quite a lot. So those values are getting up 800, 900, 1,000, especially into portions of the northern end of our enhanced risk of severe weather. So that is what we are looking at in terms of SRH. Before we end off this forecast, I want to take a look at our climatological outlooks for the next 6 to 10 days. If we take a look at temperature in the western U.S., especially in the northwest, we are seeing a high chance of the temperature being higher than normal. As we move further east and south, there is an 80% chance of the temperature being lower than normal. If we look at precipitation, you can see in some of those areas that will be impacted by our severe weather, particularly south of there, there is a 50, 40, and 33% chance of it being, more precipitation than normal. But in areas of the Midwest and northern United States and western United States, there's a 60, 50, 40, and 33. You can see how it gets dark to lighter, and that is a chance of precipitation being below normal, so seeing drier conditions for the next 6 to 10 days. Before we end off this forecast video, I'd like to thank you all so much for watching. Comment below if you have any questions. Please consider subscribing to the channel if you found this helpful, as it is quick, easy, and helps spread the message of these weather events. And I hope to see you all in the next one. Stay safe out there.